What's up everybody, Sharwolf here, and last week Free Fire dropped their newest update for their 7th anniversary, and today we're going to take a look at all of the things that they included in this update. Let's get into it. Once again, we come back to Free Fire's anniversary. Now, every year, if you've been with the game for a while, you might know this, but every year we get a different special event in Battle Royale, and it sometimes comes to Clash Squad, but mostly just to Battle Royale. And this year's is Mini Peak. Now, you might notice if you're a long-time player that the original peak has been gone for a while. Last update, we had a new peak, and overall, it's a very good change, making it a lot more fair, because old peak was just a couple of buildings spread out around a field, and it was a literal death trap in end games. But this new peak, you're able to hide in the building, which gives you more cover and better fights, but also it's just a huge mansion, and so that's also kind of cool. But Free Fire is bringing back the old peak, and you might have seen this picture when loading into this update, and there's two big things in this picture that make people excited. First of all, you see a huge island and Peak's old buildings on it, which kind of makes you think that we're going to have a huge sky island with the old peak hovering above the new peak, which would have been sick. And then for the people that have been playing since the beginning of the game, you will notice gliders. Yes, gliders. The thing that we lost so long ago that everyone loves. Well, I love them, and they're amazing. But once you load into the actual update, you'll be mildly disappointed on both of them that Mini Peak, they took that literally. It's not just a quote-unquote mini peak where you're on top of an island, and so it's like, it's smaller, so mini peak. No, it's actually a shrunken down version of peak, which is still pretty cool, but the only way that you're able to get into mini peak in Battle Royale is going through one of these portals. Now, they unlock after a couple of minutes in the round, but then every round there are a few portals that unlock instantly that you're able to go to. So this is kind of the drop strategy for this update, is just go for the portals, because you're able to get, after you use the M1887 to eliminate some people and or break some boxes, you get points, and then after your allotted time in Mini Peak, then you go to the Hall of Honor, where you're able to get nostalgic weapons, using that with quotations. They're kind of buffed versions of the weapons that we have now, but they kind of, I'm pretty sure they do exactly the damage they used to do, which is kind of fun. But this means that with just eliminating like 2 or 3 people, you're able to get a Gruza. And then if you get a couple more eliminations, you have enough to get an M1887. And so you can get a crazy good loadout within 30 seconds of being on the island. So it's definitely the drop strategy, and you'll see many people trying to go for them, so get there as fast as you can. And then also, you might notice that you can't pick up nostalgic weapons after you go back. If you kill someone that has nostalgic weapons, and I can't remember if it's only if you went to the island and you killed them, or if it's overall, but it will just show in their loot box that they had nothing, even though you definitely heard them shooting an MP40 at you. And so just remember that just because you see someone shooting that thing doesn't mean that you're getting that nostalgic weapon. Also, with the nostalgic weapons, they have a special gun skin that you can't change to show that it's a nostalgic weapon. It shows the Free Fire 7th anniversary sign on it with a all matte black design. It looks pretty sick, and also it's kind of nice to be able to remember, oh yeah, that's not just my regular one. Now, I was talking to you guys about sometimes these special events come to Clash Squad, and this year is one of those. I mean, Clash Squad is growing in popularity. Even though Battle Royale is still the original game mode, Clash Squad is definitely a pretty big one for them. And so, of course, they would put Mini Peak in Clash Squad. And so, in Mini Peak in Clash Squad, it just randomly happens sometimes during your game where it does the little portal swoosh thing, and you're in Mini Peak for this Clash Squad round. And you'll notice all the buildings are smaller, but then also it has pre-placed glue walls all around, which is kind of a nice thing since the buildings give minimum protection and the fences just protect your toes. But you'll notice in front of you, you don't have to buy any weapons, because for free, you can have the nostalgic weapons. And these are so good. Grab them, even if you have an M1887 and Gruza already in your inventory because you bought it. I'd recommend getting the nostalgic versions. And then if your team wins this round, you get to keep the nostalgic weapons for as long as you stay alive. And so it's quite a good deal to go through Mini Peak. Now, of course, there isn't as much to this as in Battle Royale, because in Battle Royale, you're able to eliminate people and break the boxes and get points and get weapons and then go back to the real world. In Clash Squad, you're just fighting in Mini Peak with some nostalgic weapons. So that's kind of it for that. Also, the last thing in the 7th anniversary for Free Fire stuff, you'll notice that there are always usually little events going on in the home screen for Free Fire, and this time it's you going through and unlocking different stages and seeing stuff about your history playing Free Fire, like how long you've been playing, who you've played with the most, what weapon you used the most, so quite a lot of fun.
There have been some changes to the characters in Free Fire's newest update. Wukong, Chrono, Alec, Clue, Ford, Shiru, and Andrew have all been buffed. That means that their skill has been upgraded in some way. For some of them, it means that their skill period is longer, and for others, it means that their cooldown period is shorter. Shawnee, Justin Bieber, Wolfra, Andrew, the Awakened version, and Hayato, the Awakened version, have all been nerfed. That means that their skill has been downgraded in some areas. For some of them, it means a longer cooldown and a shorter skill period. Santino, Olivia, Capella, Neri, and Skylar have all been reworked. That means that there have been some changes to their skills. Some a little bit better, some a little bit worse, but they've all been changed. There has also been a new character that has just been added in this newest update. Cassie. She can form a healing bond that restores HP for self and the target teammate that just adds HP to you and to your teammate. It's really helpful. As long as you don't get too far away from your teammate, you'll continue to get HP.
In Free Fire's 7th anniversary update, we have a lot of updates to our weapons, including some new weapons, including the FGL-24, which penetrates through thin walls using fire. And then we have the Health Pistol Y, which is just a different version of what we have right now with the Health Pistol, where this one you're able to click a different button and it immediately helps down teammates up. And then we have an upgraded MAC-10, where it's just like how last update, the AUG, after you shoot it for a while, you're able to level it up by dealing damage to people. So we're going to now have 2 weapons that do that. And then with weapon balancing adjustments, we have every single marksman rifle, including the SKS, AC-80, Woodpecker, and SVD. And then we also have weapon adjustments for the new sniper that just came out last time. I'm sorry, I'm completely blanking on the name. Then also the anti-material launcher and the plasma gun, which, most of these we saw that this was going to change because they were way overpowered.
There has also been some basic experience optimizations in Battle Royale. Item pickup has been improved to where if there is loot that you can't pick up because your backpack is too full, if you click on it, it will show you what you can get rid of to make room for that. Your backpack has also been arranged to make it improved and easier to find stuff. There's been some changes to the mini-map as well. Now you can choose what you want to see on the map. You can choose if you want to see vending machines, if you want to see the plane's airway, and just easier so then your map doesn't get too crowded. Now, when reviving a teammate, if you get more people in the revival station, it goes quicker, which is really helpful when you only have one teammate that needs to be revived. If you get all 3 of the others in, it goes a lot quicker. There's also been a revived enemy landing notification. That way, you don't know if it's someone right next to you. You can tell that there's someone right above you that's falling out of the sky. It's very helpful to know if there's somebody that's just been revived or if they're coming up the stairs to get you. There's also been some changes in the vehicles. There's now autopilot, which will keep driving. It will keep it going as fast as it can go, and all you have to do is use the left and right steer buttons. It is very, very helpful. And they also added a fun feature where you can play music in the car. It just plays the loadout music, and it's very fun.
Alright, next up, we're going to be talking about Clash Squads. Now, of course, this mode doesn't have many update features in a new update. They more of update it throughout the whole time because it gets very many tweaks throughout the year. But some of these main new updates include a new protection mechanism on Clash Squad Ranked, where if you play good enough in your round, even if you lose, you have star protection, so that your rank doesn't go down. And I don't really know if this means that your rank will go up if you play good enough, or if this just means that it keeps it where it's at. And then also, the Trogun is, you can only use it in shotgun mode now, so you can't fire explosives at people, which is going to be very nice because it's kind of an overpowered weapon in Clash Squad because you're able to just send grenades all over the place. And then there are new high ground limitations, which, if you don't know what that is, it just means that on certain maps it's pretty easy to get on top of buildings, and that gives you an advantage because high ground always has an advantage over low ground. Well, most of the time. In Free Fire, it's kind of different than most other games, where in Free Fire, you can't angle your gun down as much as you can angle it up, and so sometimes low ground's better, but most of the time high ground's better, and that's why they're limiting that. Now, we make a lot of videos about different tips and tricks, which is usually getting on buildings in Clash Squad, and so it's going to kind of be interesting to see which one of those you can't do anymore, so we'll might have to make more videos on how.
There's also been some system changes in FreeFire's newest update. Now in spectating, they have added 4 more emojis plus the ability to find and favorite your teammate's outfit. They have also changed the weapon mastery system. Now you can level up your weapons faster through that system, and there can be a breakthrough to level up faster. They have also added some season-exclusive rank achievements to get you to that next level in the achievements faster, and lots of new achievements that you can get. This update has been really, really awesome. You guys should check it out.